Welcome to the Side B, the place where hidden stories are finally heard. Tonight, Thorfinn, from Vinland Saga, opens his heart to share his pain, his journey, and his lost dream in his own words. I used to have a dream. That's what I tell myself sometimes. A sentence that feels borrowed from a boy I barely recognize. Once, long ago, I sat at the feet of a wandering old sailor, Leif Erikson. I listened to stories of heroes, and I wanted to be one of them. A warrior in the great battles, drawn to the clash of swords and the thrill of the fight. But my father held a different dream, a dream of a warm land far beyond the horizon. No kings, no war, no slaves. A place called Vinland. I didn't understand him. I didn't try. I was too young to realize a dream when it touched my hands. Back then, I still believed the world was kind. We all hear our dream early in life, but only a few recognize it when it arrives as a whisper. I did not. Not yet. My father, Thor's. He was a warrior of unmatched strength, but he was also a man drowning silently in the blood he had spilled. He left the battlefield, not out of fear, but out of shame. A man who knew that every sword swing cuts the soul of the one who wields it. He wanted to break the cycle of violence, so his son would never inherit his sins. Thor's dreamed of Vinland because he wanted me to live a life untainted by blood. People called him a hero, but he carried karma like chains. Every life he took burned another mark into his soul. And when karma came to collect, I watched it happen, right in front of me. The greatest warrior in the world, killed by betrayal, arrows, cowards. I didn't understand then that he wasn't paying for who he was in that moment, but for who he had been. Death is always the last debt. When my father died, I didn't think of Vinland. I didn't think of peace. I didn't think of dreams. I thought only of one thing. I will kill Askeladd. That became my identity, my oxygen, my reason to keep walking, my escape from the pain I couldn't face. So I followed him, the man who stole my father, like a dog chained by hatred. I fought, I bled, I killed, I murdered more people than I dare remember. And the more I killed, the further Vinland drifted away. The boy who once looked at sunsets became a weapon. As I followed Askeladd, I fought beside him. I killed beside him, all to survive long enough to fulfill my revenge. Every raid carved away another piece of my soul. Every duel pushed me deeper into the darkness. Every life I took pulled me further from the dream my father whispered. The boy who once stared at the horizon now stared only at the man he vowed to kill. Vinland became a forgotten memory, buried beneath years of violence. Along the journey, I met many slaves and sufferers, people whose pain reminded me of places like Vinland. And at times, my father appeared to me in dreams, not speaking of Vinland directly, but gently pushing me toward it, as if he knew the dream was mine to discover. But I ignored those signs. I turned away. I ran from the very path meant for me. Dreams do not die. We simply lose sight of them when the world becomes too loud. And then, the moment destiny had been waiting for. In the throne room, when steel met flesh and chaos swallowed the air, Askeladd fell. I wasn't the one who killed him. The revenge I had sharpened myself for was taken away. But before his final breath, he looked at me, not with scorn, not with arrogance, but with something unexpected. Recognition. Askeladd whispered, "Go beyond the sea. Become a true warrior. Your father's son." The words echoed like Thor's voice, like the ghost of a dream Thorfinn had buried long ago. In that instant, everything froze. Knife slipped from my fingers. Everything froze. My life flashed before me. My childhood, my father's smile, the stories of Vinland, years of killing, years of waiting, years of hatred. He saw what I had become. He saw the emptiness at the heart of revenge. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I had nothing else. No dream, no future, no hope, no Thors, no childhood, no Vinland. Just emptiness. A void so large that it swallowed my will to live. I didn't scream. I didn't rage. I just collapsed into the darkness that had been following me for years. When I became a slave, I wasn't punished. I was saved. For the first time in years, I was forced to be human again. No sword, no revenge, no path. Just dirt beneath my feet, and a quiet world inside my head that I had been running from. I worked. I sweated. I slept in fear. I dreamed of every person I killed. Their faces, their screams, their blood. It haunted me more than any battlefield. For the first time, I understood the weight of my sins. The same burden my father once carried. Forced to confront the truth, every life I ended had carved a wound into my own soul. Einar didn't know my past, and in that darkness, I met Einar, a man who treated him not as a killer or a warrior, but as a human. Through this friendship, I learned something I had forgotten. Kindness. Kindness can heal what violence destroys. He didn't know my sins. He didn't fear me. He didn't worship me. He treated me like a person. Sometimes that hurts more than hate. Working beside him, laughing beside him, suffering beside him, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Gentleness. He didn't teach me anything new. He simply reminded me of a truth I had buried. I wasn't born to kill. I became a killer because I forgot who I was. And then, there was Arnheit, a woman whose life was torn apart by war. A woman who fought to protect her love in a world that punished love. I watched Arnheit lose everything. Her freedom, her love, her child, her future. She lived as a slave. She died as a slave. And yet, even in her final breath, she spoke of wanting to be reborn in a world without violence. She didn't want revenge. She wanted peace. She wanted a world my father once dreamed of. A world I once ignored. A world I once traded for blood. Her death shattered me. It reminded me that the world we live in is built on suffering. Because we keep choosing the sword over the heart. For the first time in years, I thought of Vinland. Not as a story, not as a fantasy, but as a promise, a place where people like Arnheit would never suffer again. And then came the dream. Standing on a quiet shore, inside my own mind, I saw my father again. Thors placed a hand on my trembling shoulder and spoke the words that had taken a lifetime to understand. A true warrior needs no sword. In that dream, I saw myself, the frightened child, the vengeful teenager, the broken slave, the man searching for meaning. And finally, I understood. My father never wanted me to fight. He wanted me to build, to protect, to love, to carry the dream forward. The dream of a world where people did not need swords. The dream of Vinland. I realized something. I wasn't running from destiny. I was running from myself. Vinland wasn't a dream I lost. It was a dream I refused to understand. My father wanted to build a world where his son wouldn't inherit his sins. But I did. I inherited all of them. And I multiplied them. The dream of Vinland was never meant to save the world. It was meant to save me. Look at your own life. How many dreams did you hear as a child and forget? How many hints did destiny give you that you ignored? How many times did you chase anger instead of purpose? How many years did you waste fighting battles that never belonged to you? Like me, you might have mistaken survival for destiny, pain for purpose, revenge for strength. The truth is simple. Dreams whisper softly. Pain screams loudly. Most people follow the screams. Only a few follow the whisper. This is what my life taught me. Revenge doesn't heal you. Violence doesn't free you. Pain doesn't make you strong. Hatred doesn't return what you lost. And dreams do not die. They wait. They wait for the day you are ready to understand them. My father's dream was Vinland. My dream became Vinland. And maybe one day, someone will inherit mine. A dream of a world without enemies. Not perfect, not pure, just free. Because in the end, the world will always be imperfect. The heart can build a perfect memory, and from that memory, a dream can be born again. And when we are ready to hear them again, they guide us back to the child we once were, and the future we once imagined. My Vinland is out there. Find yours.